Hello everybody, welcome back to Just the Basics, playing some Factorio 0.16.x, and we're beginning to see some strain, as it were. We can see we've got two entire belts up here that are completely empty. We've got pretty much nothing up here, and that is because, in part, everything's trying to fill up these lines here as well, but also we're using a fair bit of iron more than we're actually producing right now. So, yeah, there's a whole ton of iron from the gears there, and then those get made into these reds, and that's a lot of iron currently coming out of our system. And that's actually making our mole quite slow. As you can see, we barely even have anything down here. How many, we have 29 inserters over here. Not terribly much. And 3 assembly machine 2s. So, yeah, we probably need to fix that up a bit. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I probably don't even have enough to do what I'm planning on doing today, but, because what we need to do to fix that is we need to tap possibly this iron ore, and also more of this iron ore up here as well, get rid of that, because that is no longer needed. But I told you last time that we would make our next science. We'd make green science. And completely dips out my memory. There we go, Science Pack 2. Science Pack 1, Science Pack 2. Science Pack 3. And then I think it gets the specialized ones. So then we have military science. And much further down, we have high-tech science. And even further down, we have space science, obtained by launching a rocket with a satellite. But of course, we don't really even have green on lockdown right now. So, I guess for right now, I'll just make bullet damage. Because I can do at least the first tier of that. So, might as well. And now we need to figure out how to actually make green down here. Now, I haven't automated green at all so far in this series, so this is going to be a little bit hectic. So let me bring over here what we got. So we want, again, to achieve our goal of 40 items per second, that is an entire blue belt. We are going to need, assuming that we give all of them a full set of beacons, 38.4 assembly machine freeze tricked out with a full set of speed module freeze. And, that's a lot. That's about 40, if you want to do this kind of like this way. And to feed those, we would also need 3.2 assembly machines, making just inserters, again, with a full complement of speed modules and beacons. And also 1.6 of them, making conveyor belts, and that's if they are fully tricked out. If they're not, let's just, downgrade these. Let's actually, let's stick them to that. There we go. We'll take 2.7, which, bear in mind, the speed at which conveyor belts can be made, the ease, in fact, is actually quite a lot. But it's what we're going to be working with. So, we get ourselves the 1.6, or in other words, the 2, and leave room for the beacons. Then we should be able to more or less feed this from just the 1. And then the same again, up here, we can just have 4 making inserters, but of course we need to factor in getting the actual inserter ingredients in, because inserters take 1 more ingredient than the actual conveyor belts. They take electronic circuits. So, here we go. Let's see what I can work out. Now once again, we know the size of a beacon is about the same as that. Doesn't reach very far, but it's about the same as that. So we'll use that as our metric here. And then we need to have at least 1 belt there, and another 1 there. And that is going to feed, bare minimum, that's going to feed in our, my brain's gone completely dead, everybody. Wow. It's going to feed in our iron gears, as well as our iron plates. And that will allow us to make that. So it gets 4 of these. We'll just have 1 side for the time being. And we feed that along. Give them some conveyors. Well, some inserters. And then we can feed that out over to here, like so. And that's a start. It's not perfect, but it's a start, and I'm building it so close to the reds right now because we are going to eventually have beacons over here as well, so I'm just taking advantage of that whilst I can. And now we need to figure out how to get our inserter builders again, and I've just hidden my window. I keep doing that. So yeah, we need a grand total of 4 of these, and I've actually already got the 2 of these over here, so I can actually just repurpose this one to that. So this needs another ingredient, which makes me think I might have put this a scooch too close, but I'm not 100% sure if I remember what the minimum range is, or the maximum range is, for a beacon. So, let me very quickly verify that I'm remembering how far it reaches. It's a 9x9 square, and it is itself a 3x3. So let me see. 9 minus the 3, which is the width of that, gets us 6, over 2, because we need to be just 1. It is in fact 3 blocks, so I should be able to actually have a 3rd section there. Grand. I guess bullet shooting speed, why not? So we can shift this over another block, as it were, to about there, and be fine. Definitely going to take my opportunity for that. Okay. So we don't need the ironing gears to go any further than that. So we can just have them stop there and use long-handed inserters for that. So we just take that, plonk it there, make another one of those, stick that there, there. Okay, right. So that will be a bit of a mess right now, because these are all going to be ending up on the same exact side. We actually want these to be splitting up. We want these really to be ideally generating on opposite belts. So, let's tidy this up a little bit. And also, I need to go and grab some more belts. So, super speedy it is. Okay, so a little bit of underground magic and a little bit of shenaniganery. We can now get these onto one side, whereas these will reliably be on the other side. So if I, for instance, just use my Z key to drop a bunch here, and I use my, let's go inserters for this side, so I'm dropping these on the exact same side. They should end up on opposing sides. Beautiful, perfect. And that is exactly what will happen regardless of which side of this belt I put it on, so that should be all fine and good. For now. Of course, we have to get power into this, but that nonetheless provides us with the conveyor belts and the inserters that we are going to need. So now I have to try and actually feed this all in. And these 2 inner points need to be both gears and plates, so we're going to need to mash those together as well, which is going to also require a splitter just so we can actually make sure that this works properly. Which is not unlike we have already done with the coal and ore going on up here. So you see this system, that's more or less what I'm about to recreate. But a little bit more zoomy, here we go. Yep, a little bit more bullets apparently. I guess walls, we might need that very soon. and very slowly but surely we are getting in some iron plates into here, which should now fill up the overside of this. There we go. Obviously we don't have any power here just yet, so we don't have them actually being grabbed at all. But that does feed everything into there. So, last ingredients. Electronic circuits. Okay, a little bit more zippy, as ever. And a little bit longer, and we can get some electronic circuits in. Hoi! Now, of course, electronic circuits use a degree of iron in themselves, and the gears use iron as well. And you're beginning to see maybe what I mean when I said that iron is used pretty much more than anything else in the game. There is a tiny, tiny bit of actual copper in here. So, wheh! Let's just see, what is the raw ingredients? Total raw, 5.5 iron, 1.5 copper. 2 iron, 1 copper. Oi. Okay, but we've got our setup here, and it is perfectly scaled so that we can later on add our beacons to it and such. So now we need our 38 equivalent factories making green circuits, as well as actual power. But gonna be waiting on that because I still need steel. I could just set up a thing to quickly make steel, I guess. It's probably worth it. Well, might as well. I think I've got at least some old. Well, actually, no, we haven't even upgraded them yet, so I don't even have old smelteries. So this is going to be a brand new stone furnace. Bleh. At some point between the episodes, I'll actually add more smelting. But it is not this day. And I mostly just want some steel to make a quick few medium poles, because it will make our lives so much easier. For right now, anyways. Our collective lives. Which is, in fact, mostly just my life, but you get the idea. Good to see that's going along well. Yeah, you can really see the difference here. These have the same amount of production. Oof. And yep, this is painfully slow, but at least there is science to pass the time. Industrial steel. It's on my list. Right, it has to be on my list. It's on my bus here. That's what these two spaces over here are for. Which might actually mean that these sciences are a little bit too close, come to think of it. Yeah, because this will be right here. But I think that's fine. Watch me be hoisted by my own petard. 2 steel per pole. Oh boy. Okay. Guess I'd better just, give both of these going. Ay, this could take me a while. Crafting speed, 1. Don't even have the other ones to show you how quickly they go. Right, as long as I'm up here, let's try and map this out. Now, the problem of doing this in map mode is we're not actually going to be able to see where our things line up. So, this is going to get interesting. But we should be able to see where they hook up to other things, at the very least. So there, and there, and there. And that looks messier than it will actually end up being. So, don't worry too much. And that called for a grand total of 6, so we're nearly there. We've nearly got the capacity to power things. How much iron does it take per here? Doesn't even tell me there. 5. Oh, and of course it's getting dark again. Right. Tally-ho, let's fix this up. And I'm definitely gonna have to try and smelt a whole ton of steel just for next episode, because these are so lovely to have. And I don't right now, despite the appearance of it. Okay. Now, if we place these carefully, then they don't end up being a complete mess. So, we turn on our power measures. There you go. It's neat and tidy. Could actually be slightly tidier if we moved these off to the side of it. There we go. All pouring out just happily. But I am going to do that. Just to make this that extra bit tinier. And I'm out of... Oh boy. Yep. Iron. Definitely on the list. Oh boy. And there we go. Perfectly neat and tidy. Just the way I like it. Technically that's also neat and tidy, but it uses way more poles than is really remotely necessary. But, bleh. Okay, so now we need to feed this into about 40 different... into about 40 different actual assemblers for actually creating these. So, probably best to break this down into 220s, which is then 10 either side. And it's also worth noting that, remember our numbers here. That's 40 per second. This is also 40 per second. So whilst I've currently got this like that, because we are absolutely going to be overrunning our assembly machines here, there's pretty much no way we could actually make these things be running at top speed. We are probably going to want to split those into separate things and then feed them together in a similar fashion-ish to that. Or alternatively just like this. So that each assembler can actually get a full full belt of both. But anyways, I digress. I just leave a little room for that. And yeah, I'm definitely going to need more belts very soon. Very soon. Okay, set that to greens. We can drag them out in much the same fashion as there. I guess fluid handling, why not? Might as well burn through all the science that we can't currently use anyways. And this is all very simple and straightforward because we have them all on one belt, but that won't be necessarily staying the way it is. In fact, I might as well leave a space in between just to, you know, give us a bit of room for it later on. So, there, and there. And what we'll do later on is we'll just have a long arm inserter to get to the other side. Perfect. No worries. Okay. So that will be 10, which will be 1/4 of what we're going to eventually need. But, again, I fully expect that we're going to be complete overkill as is right now. So for the moment, it'll be fine. And, like, for the moment, it's just a complete slog to make anything because we just do not have sufficient resources on hand. What about assembly machines? How many do we have those over here? 17. That'll definitely do it. That does mean I've already got, like, what? Yeah, 35 total. Do we don't even have enough? We don't even have enough assembly machines for this. Okay, and 5 of those. Might as well make the other 5. So these inserters are actually in the exact same corresponding position, except that they are actually reaching for 2 different belts, because inserters of this length don't actually reach directly in front of them or directly behind them. They're a nice little free long block. Right. Grab the outputs. Mix them neatly together. And then we can send this up to what currently amounts to our science yard. Our lab. Whatever we wish to call this, really. So just get this some power and we should be good. Do I want to do this dirty? That is the question. At least over here I do have something manufacturing both inserters and actual inserters. Conveyor belts, rather. Hooray! So just feed that over there. Oh, this is definitely gonna be ugly as sin. But if it works for right now, I will forgive it. I will forgive its trespasses. Ugh. Gods, that's hideous. But there we go. That's green science being manufactured at a rate of about 12.2 per minute? 48 per minute. Oh yeah, we're doing fine here. It's nearly 1 a second, and we haven't even gotten both sides of this going. Or even sufficient, like, gear production based on the iron production. So hey, it's something. And once we actually have some power on the opposite side of these things, they'll actually be grabbing it. And there. Okay, good. So what's that averaged out to? About 37.7 per minute? Okay, yeah, it's still not top, but should suffice for the time being. And how much is fluid handling using? 100. Right. So what do I want to be making next, I guess? Well, I guess what I want to be making next is categorically more iron production, because this is murderous. So, we'll leave that for the next episode. I'm just going to hop up here and get rid of the old science production that we had up here, because it is now 100% obsolete. And, otherwise, I hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next one.